Hello and welcome to Beats, Rhymes and Life podcast. I'm Shakira.
I'm Ash.
The one and only Riz.
We're back again, guys.
Yeah.
And it seems like right now there's no energy in this room, but just a minute ago there was energy.
Yeah,
so
there's a lot of energy in the room.
So it's
There's
still there.
definitely a lot of energy in the room.
It's still there throughout the episode, I'm hoping. I'm guessing we're going to have quite a bit to talk about today.
We do. We have a lot to
music-wise, anyway.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. We've been straying a little bit.
Yeah, we're not just going to waffle on for ages. It'll be music-related waffle.
How's everyone's week's been? Good?
My week's been amazing. I've spent my last week, the last 7 days in Egypt. So yeah, lots of
Lucky duck.
Yeah, all
lots of
glowing
sun.
and shit.
Yeah, man, it was 40 degrees out there. And
He does look good right now, guys.
with glow. Yeah, it was just nice to get away. You know, you work hard.
He's looking a nice colour.
I'm tinged with orange right now.
A nice brownie colour, I think you're looking.
Did anybody try and speak Arabic to you? Did they get you confused once you caught a little bit more sun?
They just asked me if I'm Muslim because of my bed.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, they're like, "Oh, Muslim?" I don't know.
And obviously it was Ramadan out there while you were there as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because only Eid yesterday, wasn't it?
I wore my Liverpool top, yeah. Worst decision ever. Mo Salah. Jesus Christ.
I could have told you that.
But yeah, it was
gosh.
nice, man. I did a lot of stuff. I got to see the pyramid.
I was seeing your pictures, I was just like, yeah, I need to mute this
Yeah,
guy till
you're
he's back.
flipping. Your air is jumped.
I was like, I
what?
need to mute this guy until he's back. I am so jealous right now.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah.
This guy got some height off the ground as well. I was like, bro, I didn't think he could still jump that high.
Obviously, I thought, I just kicked my legs out. But then when I saw the picture, I was like, bro, I'm kind of high off the ground here. But
Yeah, I ain't seen you jump that high off the ground at
People
football.
asked me, how did I jump, innit? People thought that I ran and I literally...
No, I know you stood and jumped.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a basically you go to the pyramids, so you ride past the pyramids, but there's like a gallery type part where you go up some extra hill and then you can see all 8 or all 9 of them. So yeah, you got to take a camel or a carriage up to that part.
Yeah,
but up there's mad hot.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's why
you can't stay up there for long.
That's why I didn't do the pyramids when I went to Egypt, because when I went it was like about 40 degrees in Hurghada, and then they said to go to the pyramids it was like 50. Like even all the tour guys were like, no, like we're not rolling.
Yeah, it was 40 degrees at the bottom. At the top, it felt like an extra type of heat that I've never felt before. But yeah, it was nice. Got to swim with dolphins.
Yeah, I saw your tweet. That was nice.
It's so funny because if you guys only knew like how he was talking about this holiday before, and then when he was there, it was bare rays of sunshine and happiness.
Yeah, man, I was like,
I've had some of the greatest times
so
of my
at
life.
He was so at peace. Like it was
obviously,
like,
I was seeing all the fuckery that was taking place on the timeline. I was like, I just really don't care for none of it. Like, I was like, Love Island. I'm just.
But yeah, so it's safe to say you had a good week then. Yeah.
you're having your own time of your life with the dolphins.
Yeah. The dolphins.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Ash, your week's been good?
Yeah, my week's been good. It's been busy. It's alright. It's been cool.
How was the last few days of enrollment? I forgot to ask.
This guy.
I can't comment on that because I'm not involved in that. I was chilling in the back, B.
Oh, they didn't drag you lot in this time?
Nope, none of that. But yeah, been a good week. What about you, Shakira, before we move on? Because I want to get this rolling.
Yeah, my week was alright. It was cool.
Yeah, that's it.
I didn't swim with dolphins. Let's leave it there. I didn't swim with dolphins.
Alright, guys. So there's been a lot of new music
There has.
out. There's been other stuff happening too, but I don't really think that's at the forefront for us right now.
We can get into it, but I want to get into the new music first.
Oh, do you?
I really do.
That's good.
Me and Ashley are going to butt heads today.
Yeah, we're definitely going to butt heads because this guy with his flipping biased opinions on everything Nas, he's got some anti-Nas agenda the whole time. And do you know what the worst thing is, yeah? From speaking to him, a lot of what he says makes sense and I understand it and I get it, but it's the overall attitude and tone towards it where I'm just like, bro, come on. So Nas dropped Nazir yesterday, completely produced by Kanye West.
It's actually on streaming now.
Yeah, it finally went. So it was streaming on YouTube midnight Thursday. and then obviously as the rest of the Ye albums have come out the last few weeks, it was supposed to come out in the afternoon, but then obviously I think when Nas is a bit old and don't really know how to do stuff, they couldn't figure out how to upload the album. That's the running joke that's been going around anyway. So it came out midnight Friday, so you guys should be able to stream it now if you haven't already. I mean, personally I bootlegged it because it was annoying me that I had to listen to it on YouTube, but now the stream's up, so I'm rolling with it. But yeah, first Nas album in 6 years, wholly produced by Kanye West, and given a 6 year wait, I'm a little bit disappointed. But the point of Riz was everybody on the timelines talking about the album. Like, I posted a tweet saying, look, I've got the album if you want. If you've ever seen all the random DMs I got from people that don't even follow me, they was like, yo, you got that, bro? Can you send me that album? I'll show you the DMs after. And people were actually like after it. But yeah, like Vans from off the cuff was like, where's the Nas album? I was like, oh, it's coming later. And Riz was like, don't waste your time. And then prior to that, he was like, oh, this just sounds like more garbage. And I was like, bruv, this guy's on one already. The album hasn't even been available to listen for many hours.
I was like, this guy and his anti-Nas agenda is doing too much. Like, doing too much. Do you know what the worst thing is, yeah? The worst thing is that the album is actually not that bad.
It's really not. It's not great.
For me, my criticism of the album is too much Kanye. That is genuinely my criticism. And I said this to Riz on the way up. Like, if we take Kanye away from this album and where we remove Kanye, we put more Nas.
Yeah, I really could have done without any Kanye verses or any Kanye singing.
Oh my God, why was he on everything? He was on all the music. Like, it was too much. Well, it felt like...
Riz, how many tracks on this album do you like? This is where I want to start.
I'll remain silent, so I just
no, because you're the one that's got so much bad stuff to say.
Are y'all done?
No. Neither. Neither. I'm just getting started, man.
Personally,
this conversation's been long pending. We've been saying for like a year.
I listened to the album, and again, like, I shouldn't be able to drive from one end of the road to the other end of the road and be 5 tracks into your album. Like, that for me, like, it's never gonna be.
That's not it. We get that, but that's not criticism of this project in particular.
That's across the board.
That's this whole Ye thing that's coming out of everyone having 7 tracks.
Cool, innit? Like, I'm not gonna get used to that. I want an album to take me to varying places.
I agree. It's not an album. None of them are albums. They're EPs. 7 tracks isn't an album. 10, like, I can roll with. Yeah. I think any less than 10, like.
So, I popped it in, and the first track, like, I just, like, it reminds me of the end, like the opening scene to Belly, like in terms of how long are we gonna get this, like, sincere character? Like, if you're
always gonna get it though. That's like saying like that. I don't know, any artist that you can think of, any rapper, no matter how mature they've gone in their career, that at some point they're still not gonna. That's like saying that Jay shouldn't have done his verse on Drug Dealers Anonymous because he don't do it no more.
No, like, that's not my grap in this.
What's your grap?
My grap is like, stand for what you stand for, believe in what you believe in, like, but how many different renditions of the educated black man, which we clearly know Nas to be at this point. How many more, like...
What do you want him to do?
Like, he's been going through some shit, like, if anyone hasn't noticed, but none of it was addressed on this album.
But that was addressed on Life is Good.
Like...
Not the specific allegations, but...
So... Is it that he didn't discuss Khalees? Is that the problem?
That's not my...
No, it's because this album is not 444. That's the problem.
No, it's not. No, because I know what people are...
Because Nas literally did...
Any conversation that has Nas, people are
relate
always
to Jay immediately.
Jay. I don't want to do that. I want to have a Nas conversation. So, not only did you make us wait 6 years, so you meaning to tell me nothing... Like, you've done a lot of positive stuff in the last 6 years in terms of your
business.
Yeah. Like, I want to hear about that. I don't want to mention
the business. He mentioned being a business owner. He didn't go into details, but
that's what it. Like, at this point, when people say
on your face, G.
That's what I want to hear. So it's like when I'm hearing about all this Africa stuff and.
But that's who he is. That's who he is. How can you listen to Nas and say don't talk about Africa? What do you mean? You might as well.
Sincere, yeah, like I know that, like, you know when they say characters in mute, like I genuinely.
But he wrote some of that. Yes, that's why it's an extension of him.
At this point, it's like go and live Sincere's life. Go to Africa and fuck off forever. Like, stop trying to.
And then when I say he hates Nas,
the
he
duality
says
is like.
Are you hearing this shit?
The duality is like, I'm tired of it. Ooh,
rap is contradiction. Every single rapper contradicts themselves for their whole career from beginning to end.
Also, Not for the Radio is one of my favourite songs on the album, if I'm honest with you.
In terms
of that.
Do you know what? It just reminded me of Hate Me Now, like in terms of the intro and the sound and stuff.
Like, that sounded more Nas than a lot of it.
Sonically, I don't think that album fits Nas per se.
Oh, it doesn't, because it's Kanye.
This is where I'm honestly 50-50 with this on this conversation, because I said that when I heard it, I was pleasantly surprised. It's not what I wanted, but it's better than what I expected. Yeah. If this album would have happened,
like, in terms of like we'll be honest, innit? We all was expecting like trash.
Yes.
Given what Kanye
Complete
delivered
trash.
for himself,
yeah,
we was expecting. My expectancy was very.
I think
low.
If Nas and Kanye would have done this 5 to 10 years ago,
different,
we would have got the album that you would expect from a Nas, because that's what I said. I missed the old soul sample Kanye, because there's a track that was either like a B-side or something like that, or it might have been an extra on Remember the Times, and it was produced by Kanye, and it was a proper soul sample track, and that's what I expect when I hear Nas, or even something like We Major, songs like that. That's what I want to hear with Nas and Kanye. But obviously, given the theme of what he's put out so far, so Pusha's album I liked most of, but even then I thought it was mixed really badly.
That's
the Ye album
that I want to get
was mixed really badly and was trash.
I want to hear the streamed version, because obviously we got a bootleg version.
I was listening to the stream version this morning.
It sounds horribly.
It sounds better, but do you know what it is? I don't even think it's so much the mixing in this instance, because the last two projects, Ye specifically, I was like, no, this actually just sounds terrible. Whether I like the music or not, it sounds really, really bad. To me, this doesn't sound like that. It sounds more polished, but I think the problem is that a couple of the tracks are so messy that you could probably argue that it's not mixed up. But I just think there's too much going on. Yeah,
there is too much going on. There's too much happening, and that the too much that's happening is Kanye. Like, genuinely.
And I feel like a few of the tracks go left. So like, I will tell you what I like of the album. I like Not For The Radio. I'm not gonna sit there and play it all day long or anything, but I like the song. It's alright.
Yeah.
I like Cops Shot the Kid, the Slick Rick sample, but I like how it starts. You know, like when it's like the concept's better than the execution. When it started, I was like, yo, and then when the chorus comes in, I was like, nah, you kind of killed it. Nah, like I feel like they could have made it.
They should have dialed it back.
Yeah, they could have made it so much better than it was, but. At the moment, I still like it. White Label, which was formerly When You Come Back or I've Got to Leave or something.
Yeah.
Too much going on. Don't like it. I like Bonjour. Everything.
Yeah.
Too much Kanye. That should have been on a Kanye album.
Yep.
That's not a Nas song.
Yep.
And Adam and Eve and Simple Things, what I expect.
I love the last two songs.
Yeah, the last two songs are the best songs of the album, by far. But I don't think the album is as bad as some people are making out, but it's also not a masterpiece by any means. Not even close.
Can I also say that's what I wanted to get into in terms of, for someone that is revered in the way that Nas is, as being one of the most
elite
supreme
MCs,
lyricists,
got MC by however many people, etc., etc.
I just don't think there was enough bars on that album.
No, there wasn't. Everything was really short. Yeah. And
there wasn't. But then that's because I feel like this isn't an album; it's a snippet.
So where is the album? Where is Nas' album?
I've got my
I feel like this is like when
first.
somebody gives you a preview of what's to come. That's what it feels like to me. It doesn't feel like this is an album. None of the songs feel like they're complete songs. They don't feel like, it was supposed to end there. It doesn't have enough tracks. It's just
that's the only similarity between this and Jay's album, is that Jay's album sounded really sketched and really rough, although he was honest and saying that's how he wanted it to sound. I'm doing this, and then people said he didn't have a flow anymore, but then you listen to Marcy Me and that was like the coldest flow. But with this is my theory, but it might get shot down because I'm a Nas fan or whatever, but for the longest time Nas has been a loggerheads with Def Jam. They've been very vocal in it, specifically from him. All those emails coming up about, like, you know, I'm not your slave, blah, 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 blah. We've seen over the last few years how many times Nas has been in the studio with this producer, that producer. If you put together, like, all the articles and reports before this whole Kanye stuff came out, it's like he was working with a bucket list of producers, and you think, like, this is who I want to hear Nas with. Apart from Swiss Beats, I don't really want to hear Nas with Swiss. Timbo, I can kind of half get with, but then you've got this now, where this is his last album on Def Jam. He's been contracted to do this for years, which is personally why I think we've had a 6 year wait, because usually Nas gives us like 2 years, sometimes 3. That's been the average thing. So I personally think he's doing what Ghostface did when he put out the Apollo Kids album. Like, he's just putting it out there. You don't even care. Like, I've been saying it, and like, other ones are like, no, this is a masterpiece. This is the Nas and Kanye vision we've wanted. Like, no,
do people really
it's not.
think that?
If you see some of the tweets, people think this is the best thing since sliced bread.
Are they kidding?
I would actually argue.
Are they actually Nas fans, or are they just lying?
Like, no, they're Nas fans. I would argue that Life is Good is actually a much better album than Nazir.
1,000%.
You take.
Is that even a question?
1,000%.
Like,
Life is Good is definitely a better album.
The thing is, Life is Good ain't even a bad album. If you take Summer and Smash, What's an Addiction, and Reach Out for that album.
Life is Good.
I think that Life is Good is a good album.
Life is Good is one of his best albums in a long time.
Life is Good, that 4-track run of the Don, Stay, Cherry Wine and Bye Baby is like some of the best.
What?
Yeah, it is. Because for me, with Life is Good, by the time we got to Life is Good, I was really sick of Nas.
I think we were all sick of Nas at that point.
And I was like, you know, when you start listening to it, and I'm like, oh, what nonsense is this guy made now? You listen to it just because you love Nas. And I was like, shit. This
is what I think, personally, is that he's doing it to fulfill his contractual obligations, doing the whole thing with Kanye and doing the provocative artwork and whatnot, and that whole thing is just to get it out there. Because from this point now, Nas either owns Mass Appeal or has a 50% stake in it, something like that. So anything going forward that he then puts out is going to be either Mass Appeal only or whoever he partners with. He might partner with someone like Wale did or whatever. So this isn't good enough as a project. I can wholly admit that. I don't think it's as bad as some people, i.e. RZA, making out. Let me finish.
I have my... let's go on.
But I do genuinely think that if we don't see anything else from Nas in like the next year, then fine, he's done. Like, stick a fork in him, innit? But I feel like what we would see from here onwards is whatever his actual musical vision is. Whether that's going to be him fucking banging pots and pans in the studio and deciding he wants to rap in it, whatever. But from everything I've read about Nas, from either his personal accounts, the people around him, people that have experienced like his bullshit and whatever, because we all know Nas is a sucker, really. Like, we can like the music as much as we want, but as a person,
he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, basically. So I personally think that now that obligation's up, that whatever we see going forward is what we should. It should be the real Nas. I reckon we will get Lost Tapes 2, because Def Jam refused to release it. I reckon we will get the Nas Album is Done album, because this ain't that album.
This and is even, definitely not that album.
Even the way he's rapping in comparison, like, Nas Album is Done, everybody like heard it and was like, rah, like, Nas is back. And then since then his feature verses have been whack, but he had one before this project came out. He's got he's on one of Dave East tracks recently, and when I heard that, I was like, okay, this is nasty Nas, kind of back at that kind of thing. But yeah, it's like, it sounds like a cop-out, but let's be honest, we're used to being underwhelmed by Nas at this
is
point.
Why I said, like, my comment was, how many times will you continue to move the goalposts?
But I don't think we're moving the goalposts, because it's not good enough. There's no denying that. I'm just saying what I expect going
people
forward.
Are saying that it's amazing.
Okay, realistic people.
I would never, ever say this is an amazing Nas album. I would never say that this... If I was ever to tell somebody to listen to a Nas album, I would never direct them here. Yeah. This is, for me, where Nas is at and where Kanye is at right now. is the most we could have expected from them.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
I think it's the best of a bad situation.
I didn't want Kanye producing a Nas album right now. I don't want to hear from Kanye possibly ever again.
You know what?
But for the foreseeable future, I don't anyway.
The one thing I will say on that is, although I don't like the direction he's gone in, because some of the samples he has picked, so like Adam and Eve and Simple Things on this album, Come Back Baby on Pusha's album, No Mistakes on his own album, I'm really, really intrigued to see what he's going to do with Tiana Taylor, because you can't have this sound on an R&B album. So we're not going to get like Keisha Cole, Brandy, Kanye.
Do you know what I feel we'll get? Do you remember the Fab Budden track?
Yeah.
Which one?
Soul Tapes.
Oh, Gonna Want You Back, where they used the throwback sample.
I feel he's going to go down that route.
Do you reckon?
I'd be happy with that. And this is why I'm saying I'm intrigued.
Have you heard her last project?
No, I didn't listen. I'll be honest, I slipped that one.
It's
cohesive.
It's decent.
Wasn't no standouts on there, but that was the kind of lane that she was in.
Yeah.
So I think it would just be his
reimagining
of that type of sound. Speaking of other projects, Kids See Ghosts.
I didn't listen to it. I don't like Kid Cudi anyway. Yeah. And after I heard I was like, you know what?
I didn't listen
like,
to
if this wasn't a Nas album, I wouldn't have listened to it.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't. To be honest, I didn't listen. I listened to Pusha because
Pusha, innit?
It's Push. Yeah. I didn't listen to Kanye because I have absolutely no desire to hear him. I didn't listen to Kid because I don't like his music in general. People seem to think that it was amazing though, so we'll see. I will listen to it at some point, but it is right at the bottom of my list to listen to. Because like I said, I don't like Cudi. I don't think he's a genius like everybody makes him out to be. Everybody talks about how Kanye does like what Jay did with a lot of people. He takes like kind of their energy and their vibe and their style and runs with it. He did do that, but that didn't make Kanye any better for me. If anything, it made him worse for me. Yeah, definitely. So it's that, especially in the creative space he seems to be in now, I was like, I really don't want to hear from you two, if I'm being honest. I genuinely didn't. Like, even on the day when it was out or coming out, I think the album didn't drop on Spotify till like maybe 5 o'clock or something dumb like that. It was late in the day, and when it came up then I was like, okay, well, I'm already listening to whatever podcast or whatever album, so I'm not going to bother, and I haven't checked for it since. Yeah, for me it's like, I just want this good music roll up to be done. Yeah, at this point I need somebody else to take over the rest of the summer. I need something else. I don't know who. To be honest with you, Jake's put his date out. Oh yeah, did you guys listen to the snippet of Academics talking about his conversation with Drake? Yeah, I couldn't finish listening to it because honestly I hate to hear Academics. Well, I heard Academics. Okay, Joe Biden left. So this is what Academics said. Basically, he said he had a private conversation with Drake. He was very happy to say that. But here's some of the things that he was okay with you guys hearing. So Drake emphasised the point of this was going to go beyond music. We don't want it to go there, etc., etc., etc. Well, let's stop right there. First of all, a tough guy. Since when was Pusha and Drake, like, fine, you know Pusha's probably got people behind him given his past, but realistically, Pusha and Drake on wax, why do you think, Drake's definitely going to get shot or stabbed, or Pusha's going to get this or that? There's been other beefs in the past where we've been like, yo, like, it could go off. Like, the Rockefeller and D-Block beef was real. Yeah. Like, people were in danger. Yeah. They've all been very open. I don't want to talk to Russell. I don't think anybody was paying attention to this beef thinking somebody's going to die. No. Just give us the bars. Nobody. It speaks wonders of where, like, hip-hop is at right now. Yeah, it does. Because like, look at this softness. No, in terms of like Tekashi 69 is out here trolling everybody and their baby mums and their wives and their kids, saluting him like he's doing something. But then you've got Drake and Pusha who could really give us a lyrical like we could have the next best rap beef in years. So, but people are like, oh no, let's not, like, people, I don't like, for me it's stupid. It was annoying because obviously Jay Prince is like the boogeyman of rap, innit? Yeah.
And he's very...
Well, not now that he's
now he's doing his press run.
He's everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like, now you've ruined it.
It's no coincidence
You've
to me
ruined
that
it
like
now.
I'm stepping in as the OG to shut the situation down. But by the way, here's my book.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know, I can't really respect that, man. And the thing is, again, everybody knows, or anybody that listens to rap back then and knows Scarface and the Ghetto Boys and all of that, that, you know, he's definitely somebody not to be trifled with.
Yeah.
His name's mentioned up there with, you know, like Preem and the Supreme Team and however many gangsters that have been in and out of the scene. So, you know, when he talks, people respect it. But like, why this? I get that he's trying to say he doesn't want it to go somewhere where it shouldn't go, which is cool. But that wasn't going to happen. That was never going to happen. And then he's made claims that he's received texts of addresses of his friend's house saying, if you don't stop with this Pusha stuff, something's going to happen, basically.
What?
Jay Prince said that people were texting him addresses of his people's saying, you need to step out of this situation with Pusha before something happens to them.
Oh, word.
Yeah, that's what he said in one of his... No, he said in 2 of his interviews, in fact.
Interesting.
So he was like, I've received threats. So he was like, all right, cool, I know where this is at now. Which is why I made the call to stop it. But my thing is, what can Drake say that's career ending?
Do you know what? The underlying thing that I get from this whole situation is when Pusha said that he was at a hotel, he got in a lift with Birdman and 6 of his entourage. He said, what up? And nothing else was said. Yeah. To me, it's not beef.
No.
Yeah.
Because he's been coming for your head for the past
so
6 years.
long.
And for you to see him and not say a word, to me, this isn't beef. This is all gimmicks, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all like lights, camera, action, man. It's a show,
and
isn't
that's
it?
fine. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I want to enjoy the show.
I'm here for it. I was enjoying, and it's just like,
I feel we've been robbed in a sense.
And that was the other thing. To finish the academics thing, Drake basically said, "Oh,
he had this, but he's going to release a watered down version."
No, he's not. He said that's not gonna. He said that's not true. He said he had a disc, but he's not releasing it.
Yeah, he's not releasing it, and he also said what Kanye said. When you listen to that album, you will understand things are going to be addressed. So on the album, which we knew anyway, in the sense of that we knew Push ruined his rollout, in the sense of bringing up his son, the clothing line, all of that. So he is going to discuss him having a son and, you know, these other things that Push mentioned, and that he was planning to do it anyway. So Push kind of just one-upped him and just was like, pow, take that. But then it's like, I don't want to hear no slick shit now. I don't want to hear like a 4 p.m. in Calabasas or 6 p.m. in New York. I don't want to hear none of that in regards to Push. Send your subs at everybody else in the game, but from now you have clearly taken the L and you need to step back and just leave it. He can't address it anymore. Like, even as coming out as a, like, you know, come out as a man and say this went too far. Like, there's no.
Has anyone watched the pull up with Styles and?
Yes, thoroughly enjoyed it.
The most, I would say, because obviously Styles is like
well versed
in beef and stuff. In terms of, like, when you step in the room, regardless of whether these are your group mate, like, you're coming for everybody. You want to be the best, or so you see yourself as the best. You didn't necessarily have to get personal in terms of a response. As much as we like things to go down a disrespectful path,
doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be, because his what we've seen him do, he won off not be like he dissed Meek Mill without having to say one single swear word.
Yeah.
Like,
he made a club banger.
Sometimes a response doesn't necorally have to be as disrespectful or more disrespectful. But that's
kind of what I was expecting him to do. I was expecting him to do that thing where he brought where he brings out a diss that's going to be played in the clubs. Yeah. That's what I thought he was going to do, and it would be disrespectful on that level, because it's like, no, but this diss is getting played everywhere. Like,
yeah, you're going to have to hear this for the rest of your life.
That's where I saw him going. I didn't think he was even really going to address anything. I thought he would go back over the whole, you're not really that big of a drug dealer.
Say some more slick shit, and maybe like half address some of the stuff in the smarmy, quirky way he does.
Right.
But
I didn't expect him to properly go in. I don't think anybody was expecting that of him. And if he did that, and if he went down that lane, all of his fans would have said, yeah, was, Drake was.
And even now, everybody's still screaming about Drake's letting him off. Like the Drake stands anyway.
Drake stands are saying, "Oh, are you guys still talking about this Pusha thing?"
Yeah,
like they are still clowning Meek.
They've got convenient amnesia.
They're still clowning Meek.
It was like, "Oh, Push is washed up. Like, you know, don't pay attention to this washed up rapper. This is the most publicity he's ever had in his life." And it's like, bro,
why are you guys getting so excited about this?
You guys never around for Grinding. What happened to that boy? Mr. Me Too?
Nope.
Like, come on, man.
Because they're children. They're actually 2000s babies, and we have to stop paying attention to them.
Just wanted to kind of continue. I mentioned Tekashi and Chief Keef. In terms of, like, would you say, like, to me, yeah, no one's got, like, it's all fun and games until somebody gets shot.
Yeah.
Do you know the one thing I'll say about it is that Tekashi's taken 50's blueprint and run with it.
Yeah, he absolutely has.
I actually feel like 50's behind the scenes playing Puppet Master. I 100%
Remember, he
believe
posted
that.
a picture with him saying, "I think this guy must be my son because."
Yeah, he was like, he's the real king of New York.
And then he started escalating it. He started doing more stuff, and then. But 50 hasn't liked Keef for a minute, so
50 hasn't liked Keef since he. Jimmy Iovine covered it in the Defiant ones. That basically 50 brought Chief Keef to them and that, and they tried to like push him forward, get him there until he didn't turn up to a video shoot, and I think in Vegas in the desert, and he left them all waiting there for 16 hours in the heat. And after that, it was like, nah, fuck this guy, because 50 at that time, 50 had much more of a platform than he does now to bring people through.
Yeah.
And then Chief Keef messed him about, and he goes, alright, cool. I mean, this is the same guy that like will say he doesn't have another son, talking about Marquise. Like, he will just openly shit on him, like on Insta. And I'm just like, you can't get any more petty than 50. You just can't.
Like, so for me, it definitely seems like 50 is
playing
he's been a bit of a
100%.
puppet master here.
100%.
But I just feel like it's I keep calling him the setup kid because it just doesn't. It feels off to me. It feels off to me. It really, really feels off to me. Like, I just, all I see is trouble brewing, and this kid being at the centre of it for no apparent reason.
My thing is, everyone keeps screaming, "Oh, but he doesn't bother nobody. He just goes about his business and people." But my thing is, like, as much as we like to say that, like, there's trouble doesn't follow you around, innit? There must be a reason why. So for me, as much as he might not necessarily initiate any of the issues that he has, he doesn't have no problems in reveling in what comes his way. So it's like, cool, they've said you can't come to Chicago. Go to Chicago by all means, innit? But the stunts that you're trying to pull, like, I still haven't heard a Tekashi 6ix9ine song. Like, it's not something that is for me.
I would never. I
heard his first 2 songs and they were trash.
I have never heard him make any music. I'm not gonna lie to you. I look at his appearance and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely.
You have a tattoo on your face.
I'm good, thanks, love. Enjoy it.
Of the Sawman on your face. I can't take you seriously.
I can't. But also,
and the rainbow hair.
Do you know what
and
it
shit.
is? I just think it's. Obviously, it's media attention, and it's trying to gain attention in that way. Cool, do what you got to do, but what's the purpose? Like, where do we go from here?
I think it's an experiment. That's what I think, because if you see how old is he now? He's only like 18 or 19, isn't it? He's proper young. The picture of him like 3-4 years ago or whatever, and he's all dressed up like preppy, with like shirt and sweater wrapped around his neck and all of that, with 0 tats and none of that. I don't think that you go from that to all of a sudden being in the streets and having this whole crew around you unless there's a plan. So it's like, you know, there's
which
like a lot of,
it seems dodgy to me.
Yeah, like, you know, there's a lot of artists, even
dodgy.
here, like so many like grime MCs and stuff, like Chip, for example. When he was really, really young, he had certain people around him that were taking him to all the radio stations and, you know, protecting him and bigging him up and stuff. So it's not the same in the sense of, you know, he wasn't a clown, he was a cold spitter, but he had people around him kind of pushing him down a certain route, which obviously was for the better. Where this Tekashi guy is clearly like, they've probably, whatever crew he's in or whatever connection they had with a label or whatever has gone, right, this is what you need to do. Look at all these clowns that are making it.
Market yourself.
Yeah, this is how you market yourself. You're going to get out here and you're going to troll everybody to death like 50 did. You're going to have rainbow hair and all these face tats and this, that and the other. So nobody can take you serious, but they're going to see your stunts as serious. So therefore they have to pay attention to you. Because I don't think something like this just comes out naturally. Some of these other clowns, like, yeah, that's what they're on, wherever they're from. Like, you know, Lil Pump and Lil Xan or Lil whoever.
You hear him speak here, and he seems to be able to articulate himself reasonably well.
I don't think he's stupid.
He's not dumb.
I don't think he's stupid at all.
But in saying that, there's only a certain amount. You start to believe in your hype in terms of you DMing the mother of his children and telling them that you're going to fly them out to take them shopping. Like, whether or not Chief Keef is handling his responsibilities to his children or not, that's a whole nother conversation.
Bear in mind, he messaged 2 and he flew one out. And bought her a Gucci bag and then was scrubbing her up in another video.
Yeah.
But that, do you know what it is? Yeah? That type of stuff's annoying, yeah, because, like, as a dude, yeah, like, no one wants to be in that position, innit? Like, you would hope that for all intents and purposes that your baby mum, or whether or not you two are cool, just knows how to appropriate herself independently.
Do you know why it's stupid? But I honestly, when I was looking at it, I was like, she looks like a crackhead. I think that the problem is that she's a crackhead. So she's not actually, she's not thinking these movements through. So it's not even necessarily, because for me, it's not, even if you don't fuck with your baby dad anymore, you're not going to have me out here looking like Sam Puppy Show. You are not going to have me out here like Sam Puppy Show.
As much as like you're trying to draw a reaction out of people and don't play with my family, like sometimes as a dude, we just need to understand that like this is bird shit. Like just leave it for
step away from it.
And as much as I would like to think that Chief Keef is not going to rise to the bait.
He's going to rise to the bait. Yeah. He's going to rise to it.
He's going to rise to the bait.
The dude's been to 2 different cities looking for him.
But again, it's one of those things like, how long can you poke the devil until the devil shows himself to you? Innit? And like, as much as he might be a good kid with relatively a good understanding of how to crack the industry as it is today, you can't continue to poke.
He will get caught slipping one day if he keeps this up.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
He doesn't look like
what happens. But
you know, for instance, there's certain people, yeah, who you see, yeah, and it's like, if you catch them in a compromising position, they might be able to, like, as much as people will say Troy is a, Troy Ave might be a donut, he might, but I reckon that, like, in not necessarily hand-to-hand combat, but in a situation that he can finagle himself or handle himself. Yeah. Like in terms of, even if you look at the videos,
I was going to say, I'm inclined to agree. The fact that that wasn't his gun.
No,
the fact that he got a hold of the gun and started shooting back.
You have to be a certain, like you have to have a certain mentality to even be able to stand. Not that
we condone this, but
you have to be able of a certain type of mentality.
Disclaimers.
Yeah, you have to be of a certain mindset to be able, like, because I'm not gonna lie, people waving guns in your face is not it's not a situation that's for everybody.
Nope.
So as much as everyone wants to give off this super tough guy persona, like until it really happens to you and you're really faced with that question, some people like they'll shit themselves. Yeah. And it's like, I look at Tekashi and his team might be really, really, really on this thing, but I look at him and I don't think he is.
He's just a performer.
He's a little kid. He's genuinely a little kid that is playing.
This is grown man business.
I knew that quote was coming.
I don't know if it just. I don't see it going in a good direction.
It's only going to end one way.
In a good direction.
Someone's going to get seriously harmed or killed, or people are going to go to prison.
Yeah. And then it's going to go back to the gang crime in hip hop, and that's going to piss me the fuck off, because a little setup kid started this shit. Well, not started it, but
that's why I was happy that him and Casanova squashed whatever it was they had, and by all reports it wasn't them two specifically, it was their crews, but then Tekashi obviously was
baiting it.
Was like escalating the situation. But I'm glad they did that, because Casanova, you know, like there's some characters that you think, oh, okay, like, yeah, I don't believe them. Casanova, I 100% believe whatever he's got to say about stuff. Like, even when he was on the pull-up thing, Joe Biden's pull-up, and he was talking about it, and they made a joke about something, and he was like, listen, man, just get me the thing now. Like, just get me the tool now, because I will go and deal with shit. Like, but then also, he's very honest in the sense of coming out and being like, do you know what? I'm not involved with any of this. You didn't see me say this, that, or the other. He goes, I don't want to go back to prison. Like, that's true. So he's smart enough to know.
Yeah, let's just keep them in our thoughts. Hopefully, the detractors are always gonna have their part to play in terms of your entourage.
Yes, I think that is something that you have to be so careful with. I think any form of success in any career, you have to be very careful with, but specifically in music and hip hop. So many hangers on. You know, you've got this thing about providing for your people, the people that are around you when you came up, the people that went prison, that maybe did stuff for you, that went prison and took a sentence, all of that stuff. So there's it's very tough. Because even when let's go back to your favourite rapper, Nas.
Everybody that dies and their family.
Khalees and Nas thing, and then when they came out with his expenditures for the month, and they said like 50k a month was for other people. Like, so, you know, is he giving Jungle 8k a month? Or you know what I mean? You don't know what it is. That's obviously quite unlikely the case from our perspective. But like when you're in that's what happens. You've got responsibilities.
Yeah, you've got responsibilities.
Yeah, to the people that are around you that may have helped you get into situations. Like even Hove now, I think for 444, he mentioned about one of his guys coming out then that had been away for like 8 years or something like that.
Emery.
And there was him, and there was somebody else a couple of years ago that used to be, that was basically Jay's Connect at one point. And he said, you know, for years that they kind of fell out, and he went away and did a bid or whatever, but when he came out, Jay contacted him immediately and was like, do you need anything? Are you good? I can set you up with X, Y, and Z. So, you know, obviously Jay's in a different stratosphere of money in comparison to a lot of guys, but you do still have those connections, and that's something that's going to follow you your whole career.
Yeah, so in terms of back on home soil, we've seen a lot of posturing this week. It's kind of like, obviously the scene's got to where it's got to through a lot of like.
Wait, which bit are we talking about specifically? There's been a lot of stuff. I feel like I'm a bit.
I wasn't really going to touch on anything.
Okay, cool. Go on.
Obviously, I just wanted to. Jay Huss, we didn't really cover that. Not that Ash is looking particularly infused.
I just don't know what you're talking about.
No, he's the EP.
Oh, I ain't listen. I'm not a Jay Huss fan,
I didn't know that he released music.
No, I knew he released an EP because I heard the first single, but I just didn't. I didn't follow through to go and listen to the EP.
It was alright. Lukewarm. Yeah, like I'm not really sure where I sit with this whole UK thing at the moment.
Why is that though, in terms of how it's operating as an industry, or the interpersonal
There's
relations?
There's a lot of interpersonal relations that are. It's like if you're not messing with the right team, it's like segregated.
100%.
Because I'm someone that listens to a lot of like a bit of everything, as you're all aware. Yes. And it's like I'm hearing a lot of good music that isn't necessarily getting the right.
It's not being picked up.
So it's like unless you're messing with like that whole tiny tempo.
Unless you're messing with Disturbing London or Krept and Conan, who were kind of linked to them anyway, even though Cosmic's their manager, and like a few other artists around that kind of level, you're not really involved. Like Wretch obviously has his connections and all of that, but he's still separate from it, but he's at a level where he's respected by everybody anyway.
But I see Wretch as like a one-off. Like he's a one-off in his own space.
Yeah, he is.
In terms of like, you look at Chip, and obviously Chip has now had to kind of stand next to Lethal B in a sense to get the looks, not through a lack of talent or anything, but in terms of visibility.
I don't think he's had to stand next to him because they've done music.
Not musically. I'm talking about in terms of like they're traveling, they're doing a lot of shows together and stuff like that. So it's like you see Notes with them, you see Young Bane.
Notes, Young Bane is Disturbing London.
So it's like you have to
Notes isn't though, is he?
He's not.
He's Island Records, I think, or somewhere like
that. He's somewhere else. But it's like very clicky at the moment. And it's like
it is.
You go back and it's like we've done a lot of groundwork to get us to this point for us to now start, in a sense, closing doors on each other. It doesn't really like sit well with me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I think a lot of this stuff has been hinted at by other artists previously. Like when Hypo did his Not For The Radio about 2-3 years ago now, he was saying that he goes these guys don't want us in the game from certain places, certain areas. They don't want to involve us in anything. And obviously being around Hackney and stuff at any point in your life, Mashtown were big. Like they were very big, but they never got, I think once Graham Daly got locked off, that was it for them for however many years. But it is all too clicky. And for me personally, just as much as I know you two are, I'm here for the music. That's what I'm here for. I don't care about the politics. If there's beef, I'm here for the tea, and I'm gonna laugh and say about who got murked and who didn't, like musically. But it's way, way too clicky. And I think you're right in saying that it's a shame that people have to put themselves next to people or be seen to be in a certain situation. So like, not to compare them as artists, but in terms of being in a one-off space, Wretch is in a one-off space, IMDDB's in a one-off space right now. She's just like lashed out at everybody and everyone about anything, but has enough of a buzz that whatever she was doing before, she's gonna go. And to be fair to her, she apologized to Steph London as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, she sent like a whole long Insta DM and was just like, look, I shouldn't really approach things this way. And then she was like, I also found out that your father passed, which you don't really want to be, you're not going to be in a certain way to communicate with people. So she was like, I get it, blah 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 blah, and then just went straight back to that kind of that beg frame thing that girls do, like yes and all of that, and you're slaying, girl, and all that shit. That's what she was doing.
What is just happening next?
That's what she did.
What is just happening?
That's what she did.
Oh god! I can't believe
if you read the DM,
happened.
you see that's what it says. But yeah, there's a lot of clickiness, and there's people like that are kind of like peeking through the cracks, so to speak.
Steph London needs a really
she needs to
really
take a seat.
good PR team because whatever is happening is not great. She needs somebody to just deal with her social media management, all of that stuff. She needs to not be able to handle it. But the worst thing
about it is she's got all of the relevant things in place, because she was on the XXL Fresh.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was.
So I personally know that she's now managed by what did they call themselves again? The Migos manager. I can't remember what.
Quality Control.
Quality. She's now.
So she's with QC.
Yeah, she's with QC.
That is interesting.
That's a really big move for her.
That's a very big move.
So it's like
that Hurting Me remix really threw her out there.
Yeah, so she's obviously been moving around the right circles, but not necessarily
in the right way.
So it's like I said again, it's all relationship based at this point, because obviously they came here, took a shining. Remember when they had the show, pop-up shows here? Obviously, she appeared at the pop-up shows, and they've literally taken her.
She's with her since,
over there. So it's like, again, we're waiting on people to open doors when, again, the whole point of streaming and allowing anyone to have your music out there, I don't think situating yourself or putting yourself in certain positions is necessarily the best route to the money.
Yeah,
because you're gonna have to split that check now. Where that check could have been for you, you now have to.
Then the argument would be that with them behind her, the check's gonna be bigger.
The bag's bigger.
Yeah, so she can afford maybe that 10% or whatever it's gonna be. I don't know what her deal would be like with them, but yeah, I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to see with a lot of these people, because I think there's so much of an independent scene that people are coming through, but then everybody is doing these backdoor moves that like, oh, I'm independent, blah 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 blah. It's just me and my manager, this that and the other. But you're signed through somebody else to a major label for a significant amount of money, but you're not seeing it as you're signed to a major label. You think you're independent. Or others that have actually been grinding independently, but then have made a certain move. So now LMA, Booed Up, has like blown up big time in America, but that's been going on for like a year. And she had other songs that she was pushing before that caught on. And I think she's either... I think she's
Universal.
So she's managed by... There was some kind of change, basically, that pushed that for that now to be a hit, basically.
Yeah, she's been heavily marketed to the Americans now at the moment, which, you know, is a good thing. Booed Up is really not one of my favourite songs of hers, but you know, it is what it is. No.
It's catchy.
It's cool.
It is what it is, but it's just there's so many better songs. But you know, it's a good move for her.
There's just a lot of them when it's just so political, man. Like, you see, when I say about independence coming through, the people I want to do well and I want to see chart, like I want to see Vibba chart. I want them to actually put music out properly. It looks like there's a project now because they've been like doing loads of Insta stories of delivering packages to people, and the artwork is like Vibba, the package or whatever. But like their streaming numbers on some of their tracks are actually kind of mad. They've got a good few 100,000 streams and stuff. So I want to see that, where this is natural. They're a whole crew of everybody that does everything.
Yeah, creatives,
yes. I want to see that. I don't want to see, you know, fake major signings like where everybody's going the Chance the Rapper route. Like, I don't want to see that.
Talking of signings, obviously you're quite in the know of Alika. Like, I'm like, people are kind of semi like surprised. I don't.
By what?
She signed a publishing deal.
Yeah.
Why is that surprising?
I don't know.
I was like, well, she writes good songs.
She does, and she's, you know, I'm happy to see her hard work paying off. So she has been grinding for a long time.
She's on the top of the Billboard charts right now.
Yeah, she's the top of the dance club in America, so she's very happy about that. She's doors are being opened now, and it's nice. It's nice to see it.
I'm kind of like at the point where it's like, let's just like, even as like a podcast, it's like, again, we're here to talk about music related stuff, but it's like the opportunities that obviously present themselves to some might not necessarily be presented to all, and that's fair, that's life, that's the way it goes. But it's like, again, innit, let's go back to Nas, innit, like, sometimes innit, like, you kind of have to be your own trailblazer and like create your own lane. But yeah,
indeed. Smith's album,
yes,
did you guys listen to it?
I did listen to it.
I actually really liked it. There was only, and what I used the term specifically, there was 3 or 4 tracks on there that were too Adele/Radio 1 for me. They weren't bad songs, but that's just not what I wanted to listen to.
For me,
you know, like that kind of. It's almost like a pop ballad, but like, you know, that depressing type of.
As I was saying to Shakira on the way here, sorry to cut you, I'd never listened to any Georgia Smith prior to this, so I didn't have any
expectations. Yeah.
So it's like, I like the music for what it's worth. It's like in terms of musical, I think it's high on the musical like.
It's quite musical. It's well produced.
The music isn't really diverse enough, and I'm not sure. Obviously, Shakira told me that she's done other like shorter projects beforehand.
I haven't heard any of her projects. I've heard a lot of singles and a lot of loose tracks, but I've never listened to a project before this. I just don't feel
that it's diverse enough for her to be the star that everyone is talking
her up to be.
Yeah,
I think the project's too middle of the road for that. But I like it. I do really like it.
For me, I love Georgia. I do absolutely love her. I think like I said to Riz that this album is quintessentially Georgia. If you were gonna box off what her sound is, it would be this. However, it didn't wow me. I don't think it's her best work. I don't think that it's amazing. Like, I didn't listen to it feeling like, it didn't excite me then. There were probably only 2 tracks where I felt like, okay, other than that, it just felt like, it felt very samey.
It was.
But in that way, it was cohesive and it flowed well. Yeah. But it just didn't feel like...
I found that when I was listening to it at first, I was like, I like this. And then, I still like this, and I still like this song.
And that's the thing. That was it. I was trying to go through the first time I listened to it, I just put my headphones in. I didn't look at the track list or anything.
Listened. Yeah.
And I was just listening, and I just felt like, this song's been on for a while.
This
song's been on for a while. Oh no, this is the third song.
I think the standout for me, and not because it's an amazing song, but just the vibe that was the Lifeboats freestyle, where it sounded like Tom Misch made the beat. And I said, if he didn't make that beat, someone just jacked him, because it sounds like 4 of the chords are the same as him and Loyal Kana's Damsel Fly. It's like exactly the same, but it's just the vibe. And her whole thing from singing to kind of half rapping, half spoken word, and back into it.
That's why I like Project 11. Project 11 is 4-5 tracks, but it's that sort of
that kind of vibe,
and I like it a lot. With this one, I didn't really. It felt a bit samey.
Yeah,
but then safe is the word.
Yes. I think
it didn't. For me, like, it's not an explosive debut album.
No.
It's just very mellow, and everybody knows I like mellow.
Yeah.
But it's just, I was a bit bored at first.
I think sometimes we place too much on a debut album, and I think with her, given her journey and the way she's kind of like almost been at superstardom for like the last year already, but now it's like, oh, your album is finally coming out, like, what's it gonna be like? Where to me, I'm thinking she's been touring worldwide for like 2 years now, maybe 3, and it's like, but to me, you don't even have that much music out there to be doing all of these tours. Like, it's great that she's doing it, great exposure, great experience, you're gonna meet new people, get different vibes in your music and stuff like that, but it was, I mean, who's she signed to? Is it Universal as well?
Let me just double check.
Like, it smells of a major label debut.
It's
FAMM. I'm not sure what that.
They're probably a subsidiary or something.
It's just not. It's not a bad album at all by any means. It's technically a very good album.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not amazing to me. It didn't wow me. But if you wanted to know what her sound is, I guess
this answered it.
Yeah.
Alright, there's a couple other albums, I just want to mention them just because they probably haven't been before. The Midnight Hour is a collaboration between Adrian Young, which most of you would know as providing the instrumentation behind the first Prime album, and he's done an album with Ghostface. He does the whole like vintage, authentic 60s, 70s sounding stuff. He writes his music like it was made then. He's done a project with Ali Shaheed, formerly of Tribe Called Quest, and it's quite a diverse album. I can't say I like the whole album. I'd be lying if I like the whole album, but there are some features on there that make it proper stand out. There's a great track with Raphael Sadiq. There's a really good one with Bilal. There's a few other ones, and there's some that are just complete instrumentals that are really good and worth checking out. And the other one, because this album also dropped yesterday, was J Rock's album. I like J Rock. I can't say that his albums have been amazing to me. I like the one before this for the most part. What I can say about this album is that it's a well-rounded album. I don't like everything on it, but the stuff I do like, I really like. Like, he's one of those ones, like, like, sometimes you just want to listen to some ignorant shit. That's what some of his stuff is. And it was also good to hear him go back to back with Kendrick on the freestyle towards the end of the album. Because the thing is, a lot of people don't really realise, but if J-Rock didn't come out, then TDE wouldn't be where it is now. It wasn't Kendrick or Absol or anybody else. He was the one that kind of forged that lane. And I think that's why he always gets the push he gets. And he always gets a shot, because they respect him as kind of being the first to kind of break down that door for them. But yeah, definitely worth a listen. It's not going to be up everybody's street. But, yeah.
I'll add that to my playlist for the weekend.
It's a decent album. There are a few tracks that stood out to me.
Yeah.
And then other than that, it's not a hard listen.
No.
It's not a hard listen.
There's a couple tracks I was like, I don't want to skip that. But overall, it was alright. The Internet have had 2 singles come out, which are both bangers, and I can't wait for that album to come out whenever it drops. I think it's the end of the month or something. I think that was it. Jacquees dropped a project, but I haven't listened to it yet.
I listened to it.
What did you guys think?
Because
I like Jacquees. I like him and Dreezy and a few of those other artists.
I do like him. For me, again, it wasn't amazing. It's like a few of the tracks had dropped beforehand, didn't it? So the songs that I liked in it, I liked already.
Yeah.
But it's very Jacquees, like, it's just very him. Like, you can listen to it. There aren't any tracks that I absolutely hate.
Yeah.
What I will say,
I don't know where he's going to go from here, though.
He didn't push the envelope much from what
I wouldn't expect him to.
I would say for those types of artists, like, in terms, as much as we don't see it as much these days, I would like to see him work with a Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
Just someone that can curate and not even, it doesn't need to be a niche sound, but I feel that certain producers have a knack of bringing the best out of
I agree with that, actually.
He's one of those people that I look at and I say, yeah, he brought the best out of Usher, he brought the best out of Mariah Carey, he probably, I wouldn't say brought the best out of Janet, but he had Janet sounding okay.
Yeah, he had an influencer. It wasn't Jam and Lewis Janet, but she was decent. On that note, JD, he was just inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame as well, just a couple of days ago, which shouts to him, because as much as I think there's definitely been periods of time in his career and we've been like, no, fuck that, I don't want to hear no more Jermaine Dupri, I've had enough, man. I don't want to hear, just stop there. Yeah,
you just hear his little raspy
I think what was his solo album was Welcome to 147, and as an album it was dead, but it had a couple bangers like. But yeah, shouts to him, because he's been involved in a lot of music, and the 2 you mentioned specifically, Usher and Mariah Carey, like massively so. He definitely like reinvigorated Mariah's career for a bit.
What I would say is that when our Jagged Edge gonna like stop teasing
just
us,
call it.
Oh my god.
No, I don't even want them to stop teasing us. It's either call it a day or put an album out, because I'm tired of your half-assed features.
It's getting on my nerves, like, in terms of,
I saw the track list and I was like, Jagged Edge.
Yeah, like, I was like, the placement as well. It's for me, like, they waited right to the very end, and it's like, it was a nice vibe.
Yeah,
it wasn't amazing, but the way that they have kind of put, like, there's room for a Jagged Edge, there's room for a Drew Hill. Yeah. When are you lot just gonna stop playing half-ass and just?
If 112 could come back and put an album out,
exactly.
Why can't Jagged Edge? Why can't Drew Hill? Etc. Etc.
In terms of, like, I'm not a 112 fan in it, but if they can produce an album in 2017 and people off the back of it start listening to 112 again, and they tour, etc. etc.
Yeah, why can't they do it?
There's no reason why Jagged Edge can't, because it's like, for me, out of that cluster of Atlanta groups,
like the groups,
they were the premier ones for me. As much as Shakira's gonna say 112, I'm always gonna say Jagged Edge.
I say Jagged Edge over 112. 100%. But the one thing I would say on 112's side is that 112 had better singles. Instead, I think 112's singles were that good. Apart from towards the latter end, their early run of singles was better than Jagged Edge's run of singles, I think.
Can we have that debate one day?
Of course we can.
In terms of the best groups, because
I would definitely say I would definitely take 112 over Jagged.
We know you would
any day though, because I genuinely think that their first 3 albums were solid, like proper solid. I do.
Do you know what? It's good that we don't see eye to eye on some of this stuff, because you know what? After when Riz was making all these jokes about 112, when you said how much you liked them, I actually sat down for like 3 days and I really tried to take in all of 112's albums, and I was just like, nah. I was like, is this it? Even like the early Bad Boy thing. I'm thinking, and I was just like, no. I was just like, no.
You know what? I actually can't believe you, lot. I love him.
It just didn't work for me. I could listen to Tony Thompson and like High Five and all these other artists that were there at that time and take all of it over the 112 albums, and I didn't think I would hear myself saying it. I thought Riz was just being a prick, if I'm being honest with you.
He is a prick. He is a prick. Do you know I posted a tune I was listening to the other day?
Yeah, and
I just thought, why wouldn't you leave me alone? I'm not bothering anybody. I'm just listening to my music in peace. No, I love 112. I absolutely do. And the funny thing is that me and my girl, because she loves 112 and she loves
Jagged Edge.
She loves Jagged Edge. I do love Jagged Edge. Yeah. I don't think I love Jagged Edge as much as she loves Jagged Edge. And then she said to me, and this is when I started doing polls on Twitter, because she said to me that Jagged Edge have more tunes than Jodeci, and I was furious.
No.
I was absolutely furious that she said it.
I think, do you know what it is? I think because Jagged Edge had a longer run than Jodeci.
Yes, they do.
You can say they physically had a ton more songs than Jodeci.
But I was just like, what the hell? Like, and then she was like, then when I was just like, nah. So then I had to take her through Jodeci's tunes, yeah. And she's like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. And I was like, exactly, put some fucking respect on their name, bro.
I'm personally gonna put Jodeci at the top of the.
Yeah, we know we've had that debate, but what was I saying?
But I'm a Drew Hill fan as well.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But then that's the thing. I think that I don't really have the relationship with Jagged Edge that a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I don't think I do.
Do you know? I think the problem with Jagged Edge is that they didn't go away quietly. They like crashed and burned. they went down bad. They still did like another 2-3 albums after nobody gave a shit. Like they were done for, and I still listened to them. I was like, nah.
Yeah, after the album After Hard, they should have just called.
Yeah, they should have stopped there. And
they should have stopped.
Yeah, maybe just toured.
But the thing is, the songs that I love of Jagged Edge, I really, really love.
Yeah.
The Hard album is actually hard.
I think that it genuinely is. They're probably the one group, not the one group, but the group left that I haven't seen that I would like to see. I would actually like to see them in concert.
I don't know if I'd pay for them.
Do you know what? I'm very iffy about what artists I would want to see live. Like, I would. No, I was gonna say I'd want to see Joe, but I don't think I want to see Joe because I love Joe, but I feel like because of some of the songs you know what the show is gonna be like. Like
he's in that Brian McKnight.
Yeah.
And as much as Brian McKnight, Brian's turned into somewhat of a wedding singer. It's like
he's a glorified wedding singer, man.
For me, the music didn't age well.
No, it didn't at all. Apart from the singles.
Yeah. The music, generally, Brian McKnight's music didn't age very well.
No.
Whereas Joe's aged a little better, but it's not John B in it. And when you have,
it's not. But Joe's recently, I listened to Joe's albums.
Listen, that All That I Am album, I loved it.
No, he's got cuts until you look at his whole discography. Each album, there's a 3 or 4 song run. Where it's like, oh, cool. Yeah, this is.
Yeah,
but it's like it saves the album in a sense.
I think after what was the album?
All That I Am.
No. There's I'm talking later on. I think from Let's Stay Home Tonight is where his run definitively ended. Because Let's Stay Home Tonight had 3-4 tracks.
The last good Joe album was the one with You Dropped Your Dime.
Yeah.
And it had the Jeep song on it. Ride in my Jeep.
Let me come back.
And it had Ride With You with G in it on it, and it had More and More. That was a good album.
I don't think I liked
it. Oh no, this is the album I'm talking about. Better Days.
Better Days.
Yes.
Better Days.
2001.
You're not giving Joe
Better Days.
not enough credit here.
Better Days.
No. You're misunderstanding my point. To me, I really like All That I Am. I really like My Name Is Joe. I really like Better Days.
Yep. And then after that, it got patchy.
After that, it was what you're saying. The 3-4 song runs on the albums that saved it.
Because
where I think the first 3 albums were all really
Joe
good
has
albums.
An album this year. Joe released an album this year.
And,
Sorry, did you guys know that?
I just saw it.
I did not know that.
But
is
you
it
know
good?
what?
I've not listened to it.
One thing I will say is that after that, so I remember Signature I listened to sometime, and I think
No, I
was
don't
it
think
Bridges?
I listened to this.
It was either what's Bridges? That's
Bridges
not it.
is one of the more recent ones.
Yeah, that's 2014. So no, I listened to Signature. That was 2009, and that was one where he had a few songs for me that saved the project. But prior to that, the stuff.
I think that's the last Joe album that I listened to. Signature.
Yeah,
I think Better Days was the last one that it was proper. It was solid.
Because you're talking about And Then. That's the album you're talking about. Yeah. But
and then was patchy.
No, I think he should have quit. Ain't Nothing Like
Ain't Nothing Like Me.
Yeah, that's the album where it was over.
Yeah, because the album because that had the Nas song, the Papoose one, the
yeah,
G-Unit
that's when he was trying to go in a whole other lane that wasn't fitting for him.
Yeah, I'll roll with that.
I agree with you. He should have stopped there.
He should have stopped in 07.
Talking of like R&B crooners, have you not listened to Tank's last album? I can't remember who was I talking about it here.
What? Not Sex, Love and Pain 2. There's another one after that.
Savage. It's called Savage.
Do you know what? I think I flicked through it. I don't really hit for me. If I remember correctly, I might have to revisit
obviously, it. What he's trying to do is reinvigorate that real rugged.
Yeah, that rugged sexual R&B.
Yeah. So it definitely serves a purpose, but only for a particular mood. Yeah. So you lovers out there.
Oh, you lovers out there.
You lovers out there.
Got to put on the sauce.
Before I forget you guys, one thing I was telling Riz on the way up. Obviously, Bond put out her Surface song, and then
has the remix come out yet? Because she's done the whole Surface challenge. Actually,
so she's done the Surface challenge.
There's a challenge and there's the remix competition. Yeah.
And then quite a few people had good.
There were a lot of good ones. I actually liked most of the ones I saw.
I liked quite a few of them, and then there was this girl Ling Hustle, who hers I thought was really, really good. Yeah. So I followed her, and then I was just looking through, and she'd put out an EP earlier.
Lin Hustle, did you say? Ling Hustle.
Ling Hustle, and it's called 22.
Stick that in the group.
Oh yeah, I will do.
I will check that.
And it's not amazing, but I can see where she fits. Like I can see the pocket where she fits. Like there is some good stuff on there. There are a couple like it's quite freestyly. It's got quite freestyle thing. Okay. But I think she's being like she's marketing herself kind of around like a Tink type person. Okay. That kind of sound. She does the singy rappy thing a little bit. Yeah. But I like her voice. And I like a direction that I can see where she could go. So yeah, I think people should.
Before we go on to the breaks, there's shouts to Emma V and Lilo Gold as well. SBTV put out their list of best. Even though I don't know what's going on with SBTV, I don't know what Jamal's doing over there, but they put out a list of like top UK artists right now, like female artists, and neither Emma V or Lilo Gold were on the list.
Shut up.
So Lilo Gold kind of just clapped back and was like, well, if Emma V ain't on the list, then it ain't a list. And then Emma V backed Lilo Gold. But those two, obviously, like, we're fans of them. We've heard a lot of their stuff.
That's true though, if Emma V's not on the list.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Because even if you just take production and writing, not even just her own singing stuff. Shouts to them. Ruby Francis as well. She's remixing a lot of the stuff. And they both checked all of our videos as well when we posted them. Ruby Francis did, Lilo Gold did. Idea, the song you played, she said that she's got new music coming too as well. So shouts to all of those guys. Was there any other songs? No, I don't think I had any other songs I was going to mention. But unless you guys have anything else, I was going to play my song from the breaks now.
No, that's we're good for that.
Go for it.
Cool.
I'd just like to say that originally when we came up with the idea for the break share, we was meant to stick to UK, and I'm the only one that has done so.
That's not true.
No, we never agreed that, actually.
No, I have stuck to UK.
I've played one non-UK song.
What non-UK song have I played other than Ravina? That's one. So we've both played one. Cool. Hello. This guy tried it, bro. This guy tried it.
Slice shots.
It's fine.
He just wants to move the goalposts when he does.
You know I love shifting goalposts.
Alright, this song, this is, if this wants to come on, J Prince and J Prince and either Mahalia or Mahalia, I don't know how you say it, but I
love her.
She's got a run right now. Actually, not even had. She is on a run right now. This is off his latest EP called Cherish that came out earlier this year, which is also definitely worth a listen. I thought I'd switch up my vibe this week.
Summertime get violent. Fine girl, you deserve it. A little love been searching now. Number one for the curve and she was always in a track job. Monday putting in work. Real talk came from the dirt. Haven't just touched down up. But I don't see what they want from that's backward thinking on your beauty. And you're usually the choosy type. What's your movement for the evening? Reaching. People like me don't see this on an everyday basis, yo. Maybe I just wanna take you out. Round the sea, round the world, take a place you ain't heard of. Around the world, we deserve her. Round the sea, round the world, take a place you ain't heard of. Around the world, yeah. Pusha, ever wanted.
It's with you. I like J Prince anyway. Most of his projects are worth listening to 100%. He's usually got a few bangers, and I like his kind of like singy, songy, rapping style. It don't always hit, but most of the time, yeah, it's there.
Alright, I'm just gonna play Losing Out by Ebony Frainteso. Alright?
Ebony who?
Sounds like I need to take my shoes
Ebony
off.
Frainteso.
See, I don't know if you know what you're doing now.
That's more up tempo than that.
I swear to God, you was about to be losing out. I'ma spend a couple months for you now. But what can I do? You can't love me like I need you to. So what am I gonna do? Sit and cry now. You're not on my mind, not anymore. I've been moving through space and time like you was never here, I was never there, you never mind. Not at all. For this wishful thinking, this shit's making my head spin. Fair ground, I'ma cut it off. And some advice for the next time. I feel like wasting my time. Get the fuck off my line. See, I don't know if you know it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
that's a nice vibe.
I like her. So. There's another couple of tracks of hers that I like as well, but she's cool.
Chris,
me. I'm gonna play someone that our guest last time just brought me on a couple of months back. Have I played her before? Just to double check.
So, do you want to say the name?
Zilo.
I don't think so.
I don't think I have. There's two songs that I'm not sure which one, but I'm gonna go with "Don't Waste My Time."
Conceited, thinking you would hurt my feelings. Well, I think that you're bitter, 'cause I started seeing you less. I got a blowing on my phone, saying what you want this weekend. What you want this weekend. I'd rather lose a couple friends, 'cause they don't seem to get the picture. And I ain't gonna make it easier. Pour another drink for the night. Tell another truth and a rhyme. Spit another secret of mine. I don't really care if you like it. This is what I decided. I won't let you hide.
Yeah, so that was.
I like that.
Don't Waste My Time by Zilo. She's on streaming services, so check her out.
We'll have a look.
But yeah, World Cup's on, innit? So I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, trying to escape.
I'm trying to get out of there because, you know, the GOAT's playing at 1:30, innit? So.
I see what you did there. This guy's mad petty, you know. Anyway, that's us. Our time is up. Shakira, please
take us out.
Please interact with us, guys. Use the hashtag. Beats Rhymes Life Pod. Listen to our playlist on Spotify and Apple Music.
Actually quite good if I say so myself.
I really enjoy it.
They're pretty good. Not to see our own trumpets, but they are pretty good.
We take all the songs that we play during the break segment and they're put into
a listenable order.
Yeah. So yeah.
Peace, guys.
Peace.
Pum pum.